You guys ready? All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Commander James Boatler of the 3rd District of the Metropolitan Police Department. I'm here today to brief you out on a significant robbery arrest and closure that has occurred here in the 3rd District and 4th Districts of the Metropolitan Police Department. Over the course of the past few weeks, we've seen an influx in robbery offenses which targeted specifically our Latino community here in the 3rd and 4th Districts. Once the Metropolitan Police Department became aware of this pattern, we started doing some very significant outreach to our Latino community to educate them on the vulnerability that was occurring. At this exact same time, members of our Criminal Investigative Division, led by Lieutenant Barkas, were working diligently to identify a person of interest in these cases, which is exactly what they did. The Criminal Investigative Division identified an 18-year-old male from Takoma Park by the name of Kwesi Pine. Mr. Pine was responsible for a series of robberies dating back from mid-January up into this past Monday, to also include an armed carjacking in the 4th District back in October of 2023. Yesterday at 8:20 a.m., after we received a tip from the public of a potentially armed subject in the 3100 block of 16th Street, our officers and detectives who were already in the area looking for Mr. Pine came across him. Mr. Pine immediately fled from law enforcement into the 4th District, where members of the 4th District took him into custody without incident and recovered an illegal firearm. As a result of that arrest, Mr. Pine was charged with the weapons offenses from yesterday's event, as well as 7 robbery offenses. Mr. Pine's arrest is a testament to the diligence of our detectives and the dedicated, unwavering effort to close these type of cases. By no means is the investigation over with his arrest, as we continue to work these cases and tie Mr. Pine to other potential robbery offenses in the District of Columbia. As Chief Smith said earlier this week, we continue to close multiple cases with the arrest of just a handful of perpetrators. What we come to see is that the suspects that repeatedly terrorize neighborhoods and are released back into community tend to commit the same type of offenses and rob not just their victims, but also the community of the sense of safety in that neighborhood. Now, Mr. Pine was presented to the United States Attorney's Office, where he is currently held pending a preliminary hearing. At this time, I'd like to turn over the press conference to my colleague from the 4th District, Inspector Sean Connors, for a few words.
Thank you, Commander. I appreciate that. Inspector Sean Connors of the 4th District. I just want to take a second and really thank the detectives who put in countless hours investigating these cases. I want to thank the officers that were able to take this subject into custody and recover an illegal firearm off the streets. And I really want to thank the community who provided the tip that helped us locate this individual. It was great work and great collaboration. It's also a great example of why we tell the community to provide these tips and information. You know, when you see something, you say something. So I just want to remind everybody, you continue to provide that information, and you can contact us 202-720-727-9099, or you can text us at 50411. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, sir. At this time, I'll take any questions you may have.
During the outreach, can you describe what that looked like with the Latino community and whether you have any indication as to why that particular population was targeted?
Yes, so I can say the outreach occurs every day within our own patrol officers that work here in the 3rd District. Specifically, the neighborhoods that were targeted were the Columbia Heights neighborhood, the Mount Pleasant neighborhood, and then the 4th District along that 16th Street corridor just up into the 4th District, which are predominantly Latino communities. So immediately upon seeing the pattern of these cases starting to develop, our officers, who also are Latino officers who speak Spanish, work in these areas, began doing their independent outreach to members of community groups and so forth, just to educate them on the threat of victims being targeted potentially for their heritage. In this case, We also had members of our special liaison branch, our Latino liaison unit, respond out on multiple occurrences, both daytime and evening, to do the same type of outreach. So, the outreach is important, just as important as the investigative work that my detectives were doing on the flip side. But, as to why they targeted a specific group of people, I can't answer that. We'd have to ask the suspect in that case.
Any indication of the types of robberies that were occurred here? Are these people or businesses or both?
Yes. So all of the cases that we encountered through Mr. Pine's arrest were robbery of persons, all of it which were done with violence, with guns. So these cases should not be taken lightly. These are serious, violent robberies, and he has to answer for those now.
And you believe that he may be linked to other crimes?
So all of these cases that he's been currently charged with are still being investigated beyond the arrest. But yes, Mr. Pine committed numerous offenses, and through the detective's diligent work, I would not be surprised if he is tied to other robbery offenses that may have occurred here in the District of Columbia.
You mentioned something Chief Smith said earlier this week. We've also heard it from the U.S. Attorney's Office that it's a small group of people committing the majority of crimes in D.C. Can you talk a little bit about how, if at all, this fits that trend and how this shapes the outlook?
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy. You look at this, he's responsible at this moment for 9 cases, right? 7 robberies, a carjacking, and this weapons offense. It goes to show that one person can do a lot of damage within our community if allowed to be out on the streets, especially if this person is somebody that is a recidivist that continues to show nefarious behaviors toward the community members by victimizing them. Okay, if nobody has any other questions, that's it. Thank you, everybody.
He was arrested in?
He was arrested.
Block, but...
So we originally